Right guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video I'll be sharing some tips and tricks on how you guys can capitalize off NFP news. Now before we jump on into the charts, for anyone that doesn't know what NFP is, it stands for non-farm payroll and comes out on the first of every month. This is to measure the amount of workers in the US, and it is a high impact news which affects the US dollar. There is a lot of volatility that is around this time, and so it presents a lot of opportunities that we can capitalize on. Now the first important factor to bear in mind is if you come on over to Forex Factory over here, you can see that NFP is coming out at 1:30 p.m. GMT time. Now this is June the 3rd, which is the first Friday of that month. I'm just going to be taking this as an example to show you guys how you guys can capitalize off NFP. Now as you can see, it was expected and forecasted to have 325k jobs, but we exceeded expectations and the actual forecast came out at 390k. However, it's also important to bear in mind the other two red folder news, which is the earnings and the unemployment rate. Now these two came out negative, which was worse than expected. However, this carries most of the weight, so we do expect the dollar to be strong overall. We can expect some indecision in the market as well. Having said that, let's jump on over into the charts and show you some examples of how you guys can capitalize off of this. Now the first example we're going to be taking a look at is GBP USD, and again it is on 3rd of June, which is the time of NFP. So something that's very important to bear in mind is the fact that you're going to be entering your trades before NFP news comes out. You should never enter your trades during NFP, as the spreads are going to be really high and it's going to be a very risky trade that you're going to be taking. So in this case you can see a nice example of supply being respected with several signs of weakness, as you can see on the 4-hour time frame. Now if we drop down to the 30-minute time frame over here, you can see that we're getting some sort of consolidation happening over here as such. Now you can take trades in accordance to your strategy, as I'm going to be taking trades in accordance to mine. So as you can see, in and around this range would be where I'll be entering. So roughly, let's just say I enter here with my stops above the high and I'm targeting these lows over here. Now you can see that this trade would have been entered at 9:30 a.m. and NFP news comes out at 1:30. So depending on how this trade plays out would determine if we stay in the trade or exit out for either a profit or a loss. So as we play price, you can see around 12:30 now, we've got an hour before NFP news comes out. Oh, I played it a bit too ahead, so let's just go back quickly. So around this time, which is 1 p.m, there's 30 minutes till NFP news comes out. Now at this stage I'm in profit, the technicals are making sense. We can see that we're holding this level of supply and we've seen a break of structure over here. So since the technicals are making sense, now the only thing left is to see the numbers that come out during NFP. Now at that time you would want to be going back to your Forex Factory and refreshing the charts to see what numbers come out. Now we're expecting the dollar to come out strong, which in this case it did, and further so that drop to the downside. As you can see, this was 1:30, you can see that huge drop down before we got some sort of retracement to see the overall move to the downside here in our take profit. Now it's very important to understand the behavior of different pairs. Pairs such as GBP USD, Euro USD, they will usually push in a certain direction as NFP comes out. But in the second example that I'll show you, such as gold or US 30 or these indices, when NFP comes out, they start wicking around everywhere and making things a lot more harder. So now to give you guys an example of another pair such as gold, which is a lot more volatile than GBP USD, as most of you will know. Please pay attention to the character and the behavior of this pair when NFP comes out. So at this level I've highlighted my level of supply just like I did on GBP USD. Now you can take your trades in accordance to your own strategy. At this time we're around an hour off NFP news, so let's just play price along and see what happens as NFP comes out. So at this time it's 1:20, one more candle. Okay, so the next candle will be the candle which will determine how price reacts when NFP comes out. So let's play it along, and as you can see, as NFP comes out you get a huge volume, huge increase of volatility, and as you can see there's no real direction. So over here the buyers are getting taken out, and over here the sellers are getting taken out. So you can see that there's a lot of volatility, which is completely polar opposite to GBP USD, as it just fell in a certain direction. So playing price along, you can see that finally we got some certainty in the market, and we saw that overall drop down. However, if you was entering whilst NFP was playing out, it would have been a very difficult trade to hold. As you can see, it was a huge roller coaster. So these behaviors are definitely very important to highlight and understand how things react on different pairs. So please do your own back testing when you do trade NFP, as it is very risky, and I would recommend that majority of you guys not to trade NFP. However, as you get more experience and you understand the behavior of price, as I can over here, as you can see over here, things start to make sense and get a bit easier. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to drop a like, drop any comments for any further suggestions. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.